I should have known. I should have tested it before trying it out. But anyways, in case this becomes disaster. Yeah, that was a big mistake I made. But why does this have right here? That makes no sense. This makes no sense. But anyways, we're just going. In case this stream does. Uh, uh, so this is going to be probably be my longest video now. I was waiting for. I was making the 2-part Mr. Krabs mapping. I was making 2-part Mr. Krabs map video, of course, until it just, well, it was so big, it was slowing me down, and I could barely get anything done. And then when I heard the phone, I just scrapped them real quick, and then, I'm not scrapping it, of course. I'm still making that, no matter what. But now I think if it takes this that long, I should have not scrapped it. But it's not going to be scrapped for long. It will happen, of course. It will happen. It will happen. Alright, now. Let's. Alright. Yeah, there. Yeah, this will. Yeah, I'm making the full hunt. But first of all, Hytale movie. Too much to explain, but Hytale movie. I made a Hytale arc movie. It will have the content of this video, this video, this video, this video, this, in the 5 recent videos, of course. These 5, well, 6, of course. And then this one right here. This is not released yet, but it will release on Wednesday, 12 p.m. It, and then it's going to be based. There will also be a few other extras, including an extra 5 minutes. Uh, the origin is not in part of the cancellation. The cancellation is a video. 1 month later is the video. Uncancels the video. Captures the video. Camouflages the video. Predictions are the video. Escape and group up is the video. And then the rest, I just made it on my own. I just made it part of the movie. Now, this is where we are now. We got a Hytale arc movie. My first view since the Adventures of Moonboy full movie. Now, will it views, not my shorts and lives, but my videos, these ones, will they become just full movies? No, they will not. I did have these things, of course. But also, Here is my old channels, of course. Subscribe back then too, of course. Is there any? Here is who I am subscribed to, of course. We got Picky, of course. Yeah, he's a chill guy, of course. Yeah, and I think you'll succeed in his 2026 goals. And I do think he is very about that. Which we'll talk about later, of course. Now, we will talk about right here. This is an official I made. Yeah, so right now we can't see their subscribers, but it won't show the channels because, of course, you can only see them on the TV, of course. See what they're subscribed to. And I put public subscribers on it. Yeah, of course. And also, this is also what I used to have. So it was the earlier times, of course. And it's my first view. Our first video I had as 100 views. And that's why if you went to my older views and see where's the other three parts, it's in the older. It's in the other channels, of course. And I do have a playlist, of course, right here. So in case you could see them, there they are. Now, the first, well, it's not going to be a video, but it's more like a short. And since shorts were like newer 10, I added it. And then this became the first one. Right here. And then we go down. I am not proud of this, but because it's still grown to this day. Well, I am kind of proud of ever being 1,000 views, of course, but if I made this today, I would not like it. But it's fun. But it is my first view that got 1,000 subscribers. Or not 1,000, but 1,000 views. In the US, Brazil, Mexico, to this day, it was still growing. And then they just see what I become now, of course. But yeah, it's still growing to this day. Yeah, to this day, it's still growing. It's now. Yeah, imagine it beats camping in Minecraft. Imagine that. But luckily, it's not probably going to do that for like a decade, hopefully. And then this one right here, we got this one right here, of course. Yeah, there's 1,000 views here, and then what changed about how now if we go right here, things were pretty different, and then until I made this one right here. I was experimenting. I still had these rules like this. Yeah, I didn't know what was what until I 2022, and yet I still died in hardcore. Pretty ironic, but now today, and then I stopped for a while in 2024 because of mixed crash mapping. But even that, I did less than anything else. But for today now, it's probably more my best right now. I'm at my best. Let me just see in the YouTube studio. Uh, we're going to head to the YouTube studio. See if it was the best or the worst. But right now, we're still waiting for the Hytale Blogpost. We got 1 hour left. But let's see views. 300 uh 36,000 out of all the years. We got 36,000 views. And the top one was not even a Minecraft view. It was not a Minecraft view. It was a Silk Song view. This was not a. So yeah, which I'm still trying to beat Beta for. So, yeah, he reminded me of this guy, of course, Henry Cavill. Not not Superman 2025. Henry Cavill 20 2013, of course. Snyderverse, but I'm not well, yeah, but that was the messiest universe ever. I know. But still hundreds hunters versus one gorilla. Spears more than 1 month ago. Red light. And then on the bomb, we got Eastern, I feel like. But let's check 20. Yeah, will this double? Probably not. I don't think so. But it might grow very big. But the top is the return. Now it's still now a top 10 view now, and I'm not. I'm not a fan. Dude, now if you want to know, all right, yeah, we're gonna give you Hytale award, of course. An average day in 2016, of course, right here. Yeah, but I cannot believe this game just got revived. It, it made me happy, and then yeah, I'm just excited. I'm just yeah, we do not know what to do. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know what to do, of course, but what else could I talk about? Okay, we could just watch any video in high school to find what we could interest us. High town, and let's see.
New in-game clips, a final confirmation of the map we supported, and information on the upcoming World Jam blog post. First, we got a new look at the capabilities for mods in Hytale. Simon over on Twitter shared this gameplay clip, completely transforming Hytale into a top-down survivor shooter with a completely server-sided mod. Take a look. It's incredible to think this mod is entirely server-sided. You can do it in any server and it'll automatically download, letting you seamlessly play completely different genres. The potential for creators is limitless. They clarify this won't be in-game, but it shows that it's much more than a block game. It's a platform for creators. Now, for all of you Linux users, Slikey shares great news. We are officially launching with native Linux support, specifically x64. Sorry, ARM users, not yet, and it's being delivered via Flatpak, clean and simple. However, they want to reiterate that this will be an experimental launch. This is because there are tons of Linux distributions, and they don't have time to test them all before early access. However, Slikey also shared that we have programmers on the team who natively work on Hytale using Linux, so expect support to expand and improve. Also, what a lot of you have been asking is, can I play it on Steam Deck? Slikey assures that they have tested it, it runs, and it's actually well playable for single player. He then clarifies that Steam Deck is not officially recommended and there is no controller support yet. Moving on to the Mac side of things, Hytale has confirmed Mac will be supported on launch, with dev/Nova on Twitter confirming
You're
this,
gonna get
with
Hytale
minimum
World
requirements
drop
being
right
the M1
here.
chip and recommended requirements being the M2 chip. Next, here's a new clip shown off by Simon of a temple in Hytale. I love how they show off the lighting in the screenshot, showing off their new improved lighting fix, which was a limitation on the legacy engine. On Twitter, Simon confirmed they had fixed the lighting, which only required a few lines of code. In this screenshot, you can see the drastic improvements from left to right. The Hytale team also dropped 7 minutes of raw combat in Hytale. Now here's a quick clip from one of my favorite moments from the fight.
Yeah, let me get my glasses real quick. The game
Let's break
just
down some of the key moments from the combat video. First, we can notice field distortion.
yeah, it is freezing.
For the players.
Thinking about your next big move? Realtor.com's housing forecast has you covered. Our forecast gives expert insights on
No,
2026 home prices.
muted. I don't want to. Yeah, this was bad idea, but yeah, this is not. We need it. We need a re. Yeah, sorry about the interruption. Yeah, it crashed again. Yeah, I'm excited for the new phone. What's your favorite video you did? Yeah, my favorite video I did is going to prom. Uh, what's my favorite video I did? Favorite video of all these is honestly the right here I did. I like doing what ifs. I'm inspired by. Yeah, this one, the third last video, is my favorite. Yeah, it's inspired by. Let me show you him real quick. I'm inspired by him. Yeah, this is what made me do what ifs. His content is entertaining, of course. You know, he's underrated. He's underrated. I think he's very underrated. Yeah, well, of course, his wife's at least, but he also has other kinds that I like, but his restructuring views I very liked. They managed to do it very good. Hopefully, and when it doesn't age well, he just makes a better one, of course. Yeah, for example, I'll give you one. Wait. Let me find one real. Uh, like this one right here. Of course, I like you, but right now I need to show example.
Usage of Ultron. A common criticism of the MCU from comic fans is in its usage of Ultron, one of the Avengers' biggest and most dangerous villains, who has the potential to have an entire saga surrounding him, was created, defeated, and then left alone in one movie. He was used in What If and has been confirmed to return for a Vision show, but something that I thought would be really cool is to take a look at an alternate version of the MCU's first saga. One
Yeah,
the
this.
comic book version, there are simply too many geniuses, and there would
Yeah,
need to be significant differences.
yeah, I did expired
Yeah, at the very
by the things right here, of course. Right. Not exactly like him, but good chunk, right? Yeah, he's but now we already. But my favorite short I did is going to be yeah. My favorite short right here is the Plants vs Zombies restructuring video. I like those. Let me let me show you one of them real quick. Yeah, Minecraft Plants vs Zombies structure. In 2009, we will get a game called Minecraft. It will be like Minecraft for 1.0, but with few better features. Yeah, I think I might need to do a remaster of it. That make it look a lot better. You will also be called the most respected game of the franchise. Yeah, I might do I might refix this video since it will. We'll get a game called Minecraft 2. It will be very big in terms of how many features there are. Yeah, there are a few things, and also it wasn't long enough. Since it was like there were no 3-minute shorts since then. I think I could do a remaster of it. Since it aged like milk, of course, but and part 2 did better though. What if Minecraft Plants vs Zombies Structure Part 2? In 2016, we will get a game called Minecraft Fallout 2. This managed to become very great among many people, and also came a lot better than the first one, with a lot more lore and a full map to explore. And also, it was bid for a sequel. 2016, we will get a game called Minecraft Legends. It will be a card game that has most of the lore of Minecraft story mode, with Jesse versus the Axolotls. Finally, to wrap up this video, we got Minecraft Battle. Yeah, not only this kind of aged poorly, but not only because some of this info is probably down, of course, but not great, but not bad, but there were a lot more games and updates, of course. And we got that replanted game, of course. We got Plants vs. Zombies free updates every time. And also, don't get me started with the cancels. I could not get. But I will do that, of course, but I will not do that first compared. Yeah, but I want to do what the opposite of something happened. Like doing what if Plants vs. Zombies had Minecraft structure. The only problem is, what if Hytale becomes big? So big, it might kill Minecraft. But then now what? Because we can't just... Yeah, not only we gotta do what? Because what would be the replacement for it? What if? And I know a simple answer. Which I think it could be balloons, of course. I could do balloons, well, Plants vs. Zombies, of course, but Yeah, but I do have this Hytale might become like what? But also, what could be Hytale's future? That's the interesting question. Like, we don't know much about this game, but if I could theorize, it could be good, it could be bad, it could be between. We don't know. We don't know. So that's why I think we should just wait, see what there could be, and hopefully things don't go bad, of course. Which which is starting the first start got the worst start ever. If you cannot tell. Hopefully this does not become the worst start. Yeah, because let me just tell you. What let me tell you what Maduro kidnap would be like. Let me see.
Oh, I know. Let's get a van.
Yeah, this is what reminds me. On January Yeah, I think Maduro did a free AM challenge, of course. He thinks it was 2016. And so yeah, he just decided to do a free AM challenge probably.
Oh, I know. Let's get a van. Happy birthday, Skip. Old Spice Gentleman. Oh,
Yeah, this is what
I
reminds
know.
me of.
Let's get a van.
Yeah, this is just reminds me of this.
Oh, I know. Let's get a van. Happy birthday, Skip.
Yeah, that is just what reminds me of. Let me just to not forget. But anyways, let's see. Yeah, if I hear this again, I'm gonna crash out. More swamp. I'll be like, um, it's too much, dude. Shut. Excuse my language, but stop now. Yes, it is not perfect. That's what Son said, but just give it time. Just give it time. Because let me show you something, of course. Minecraft didn't look like what it used to. And if it was released today, yeah, it would have been not half. It would look like this. Yes, let me tell you that. Yeah, do not say that. Say it yet. Just wait. Just wait. It's early access. Now, side bow. Now, alright, let's see what's on Hytale today, of course. We're going to wait until 9:55 to get on Twitter. And also, someone just, well, I'm not going to talk about it, but let me ask you this. Why did they make Bethesda look like a Roblox logo? Why did they do that? I'm just ready for this game to finally release. After a long time. I'm hot. Yeah, Quebec.
Now you see me? Now you don't. Did you see me? Bro, we got for kids, so this is my magic trick.
We are just over 1 week away from Hytale, so it's time to have a catch up as new creative and modding gameplay has just been revealed. A huge blog post with
Now I'll be right back, so you can watch this video.
Linux, they do say it is still experimental and there could be issues, but it will be a priority for them to expand and support in the future. Simon then posted a video stating the following showcases a server-side Hytale mod created by a Hytale team member in their spare time. It's intended purely as inspiration for how different genres could be realized within Hytale. The gameplay shown here represents only a small subset of our modding capabilities and was used to build a simple survival-like experience. They also specify that this mod is not planned for release as part of the game. In the video, we see the player spinning around and enemies with a top-down angle. It kind of reminds me of roguelikes or even the Black Ops 1 arcade mode you could log as an Easter egg. The player is exactly or very satisfying gameplay feel, and it's great here to see this many entities on screen.
Oh, that.
Is technically possible, slowing down and speeding things up in your world. Imagine this combined with like a replay mod, for example. It could make
You got me some water.
The player chooses here between increasing fire rate, pickup range, and having extra projectiles, all fairly standard power-ups for this genre. We even see a chain bonus upgrade later on. The player's main opponent here is the giant skeleton, but of course there's lots of smaller ones and an even bigger brutish version, maybe a more armored skeleton that I don't believe we've ever seen before. Either way, it's just a great example of what you can whip together in your spare time with custom UI and all of the different assets. One part of this particularly that did interest me though is in the corner. The Survivor Arena is the title here, and it is labeled as a fragment of Orbis. Now, this could just be an entirely placeholder thing as they're using the fragment of Orbis system to instance this mod or minigame maybe, but it is interesting, showing that the time until the portal closes is 10 minutes and counting down. You can, of course, leave of your own accord with a /leave command, and we do see some strange orange portals, so maybe that's what this is referring to. But again, as the team stated, this isn't officially part of the game, so maybe we will see a different layout
Yeah.
or real fragments of orbits, still potentially utilizing this time limit of some kind. The Dexerto account posted about Hytale's recent developments, with a few accounts memeing on the situation. One user replied, "I honestly believe that Hytale isn't going to be the disaster that people think it is. It's not going to be pretty on release. Simon, the lead director, said as much. But Hytale isn't under the same leadership that put it in development hell.
Yeah.
Things will be different going forward." With Simon then following up by commenting on this, quote, "True, it will be an early access. No doubt or delusion about it. Still, the haters
Yeah. Yeah, let me tell you
are funny.
what the haters remind me of. Right here. Yeah, this is if you hate the average Hytale looks like this. I'm not well.
Just my monkey bots here farming outrage 24/7, trashing you online.
Hashtag super shit.
Yeah, that's the haters. I'll show it. Yeah, if there's anyone hating a game, just show them this. Of course, they're being hating. You know what? You can just show them this, and then they might go silent.
I got this old thing.
That would be a
It's
good
still
way to
from the
show them
store
up.
where I got it. Figured
Commenting on this, quote, "True, it will be an early access. No doubt or delusion about it. Still, the haters are funny. They don't understand Hypixel's history at all, and neither do they know me. I built Hypixel from nothing, from the ground up, and pushed myself and the team to where we are today. Now running 2 studios with over 140 talented people producing tons of content, and we saved Hytale. Along the way, I've encountered a lot of criticism and doubters. It means we're doing things right. Now we have a history of 40 plus million unique users.
Yep.
I've already made several times my money over the past few years, and I am financially free to do what I want. Work on Hytale. I will fund Hytale for decades to come, and I have a fantastic team that can deliver the big dream vision. I will let time prove me right, as always. Just need some time to fix it up and do great things with the community along the way." He continues, "The whole block game genre needs better games and modding opportunities. I am no longer enjoying my
True.
time in the genre."
Any game needs this. Every game. Hello there, hi guy up front.
Years. It's time to shake things up and stop being afraid of failures, as many have in the block game genre. This genre seems cursed, and everyone is avoiding it. It's a highly complex game genre that requires a deep understanding. It can only be created by people within the community. Hiring within the community. I am highly competitive and have been the #1 MC server for more than a decade, with over 80% of Java players who have joined at some point. I'm not a random newcomer with no background coming in to make another block game. I have been doing this for many years. I surround myself with the best within the block genre community and consult, hire, and listen. That's PvPers, builders, artists, everyone." Honestly, a very bold statement from Simon. He's made quite a few of these, but I think this is very impactful and condenses a lot of his thoughts and feelings over the last few months into a raw, honest, and cohesive paragraph. He acknowledges their origins in Minecraft and in the block game genre way more than the old team entity did. It's clear that this has always been a passion of theirs, coming from the block game community and making their own game in that same genre. I mean, you're bound to want to iterate and create the very best product that you can. There's been so many failed attempts over the years, and I've made entire video essays talking about this, why people have stayed in Minecraft and never really chose to challenge it. Why Hytale is hoping to differentiate by being created by the core pillars of the Minecraft community, or at least a lot of them, in terms of the biggest server network, a bunch of the biggest modders in Minecraft, which I'm sure will hop over to Hytale to at least give it a try, and of course a very nice chunk of players. Now, I'm not saying that Hytale's going to steal Minecraft's player base, but it's clear that a lot of people are going to hop over and give it a try. The Hytale account then tweeted, "We've just added a fun feature to our creative tools, model importing, and in this video we see one of the team members, Propsy, as they fly up from zone 1, they select the import OBJ option, and within seconds paste an entire 3D model of a Quebec into the game in the form of stone blocks. OBJ is the file format for 3D models or objects. From the UI, we can see that you select these OBJs from your own files, set the size that you want it to be, choose what blocks to convert it into, and then you can just paste it down using a command. Here the player is pasting in a giant OBJ of a Quebec, which may be familiar to some of you. This is actually the model that was used for a set of 3D printed Quebecs that the team handed out way back in 2020 to some community members. The player sets this one at a height of 200. The full total of blocks used is actually shown in the bottom corner here. Over 800,000 blocks were pasted in, and there was little to no lag, which is a great sign for performance again, especially with any types of maps or builds that require big edits and with lots of team members working on it all at once. They followed up showing that you can also do this with image files, with specific blocks being selected for particular colors. Looking back in the video though, there is some mobs in the distance like a tetra bird and a rabbit, which we can see, some campsite prefabs, but more importantly in this clip they showcased an updated UI. We see some new creative mode settings. Their flight mode is set to hover, you can mess with inertia, NPC direction and hit response among other things, plus some additional options for the world tools menu have appeared. We can actually see that we can play sounds. The second clip we got of this imported tool is set in an empty world, which I actually think is the first one we've ever seen. Anyways, the big thing here is the spaceship Simon pastes in. Over 2 million blocks we can see appear with, again, little to no lag in an instant. He flies around to show off the scale of the build, and it genuinely is quite impressive. I mean, you could use this as a basis for a whole adventure map set in space. Notice we also do get to see animations for the cape as he flies here, and he even showcases how easy it is to select regions of these pasted in objects, edit and undo areas at will very quickly. Honestly, I love the selection tool and the way that you can just drag and drop to increase or decrease the size of the region. There's even a toggle to fill in the entire space with blocks or just to create a more hollow shell like Simon does in this video. Then, as mentioned, we have another huge new blog post that introduces us to the model making elements of Hytale using that custom block bench plugin, which is now available to download. That's right, you can get that early. You can actually even open up the lava golem model, a pig, a pigeon, and a few other attachments like an iron sword to get you started, plus an example character and world scene has just been released to help you learn to scale your creations correctly and see if they fit well within Hytale. The main thing that they lay out with Wawa's rewards program.
Yeah, I hate it. Well, they're pushing events.
Creations in Hytale to feel like they have a consistent style. They define this art style that they use as close to pixel art but with strong elements of hand painted. They actually place themselves exactly on this little spectrum here. They say that they have 4 main pillars for their Hytale art vision, which they go back to in order to
There you go.
that everything they make is consistent. Firstly, they ask, is it immersive and evoking? Does it fit the fantasy theme? Does it line up with the painting, model, texture, and animations of the current world? And is it flexible? Like, can it be taken by players and changed, iterated on well? All of the assets in Hytale are designed to run efficiently on older computers, prioritizing speed whilst also allowing many entities at high view distances. They clarify that these are only best practices that they're putting in the blog post, and of course, you, the player, is ultimately in control here. The blog post continues to showcase graphics that highlight the team's aims and the guidelines around how you should approach model making. Certain geometry to avoid, they even show how to select the correct proportions for tables and character models so they don't look uncanny or mismatched from the rest of the game. They say, quote, the character bodies are far from realistic, they are small, bulky, and cartoony. This supports the cartoony, chunky style used in every other element of the game. Similarly, blocks and furniture are toy-like and have pure and iconic shapes. Of course, they underline that no spheres are allowed. They're totally banned, and rightfully so. They don't deserve to be in this game. They continue.
Yeah. Also, let me tell you something. Yeah, I'm glad they'd go for more style proportions. The ride looks like a Roblox skin. That, to be honest, which, don't get me wrong, and don't hate me for this. I think this is overrated. The one right here, I think that is pretty overrated, in my opinion. Not bad, too bad. If you could make it work, then yeah, but if you compare Roblox skins, a lot of them are overrated because most of them look ugly. They look ugly. I'm not kidding. They are ugly. They're either very. They look like the Glom Dumb, whoever he is, or this on the right, and have like a, and they look like a short Captain Hook, of course, right on their left or right foot. Yeah, they look like Captain Hook and have no face like a faceling. Yeah, I do not like that. Thank you for going for this.
Say, quote, the character furniture are toy-like and have pure and iconic shapes. Of course, they underline that
No spear. Also, no circle heads.
no spheres are allowed. They're totally banned, and rightfully so. They don't deserve to be in this game. They continue, quote, we work as simply as possible, then slightly increase geometry and polygon count when needed to improve the silhouette. This isn't only a stylistic choice, it's also for performance reasons. In many scenes, Hytale renders several thousand blocks and voxels simultaneously, resulting in several million triangles per frame. Triangles are a major contributor to frame rate loss, by the way. To minimize impact on the graphics card, artists need to ensure models are highly optimized. And then they give us some examples. They show that Tier 1, which they use quite frequently for foliage, has very few triangles. Tier 2, with more triangles, often used for branches or other decorative items. Tier 3 then goes even larger with blocks like chests, furniture items, and the like. And then the highest level of detail, Tier 4, which is the characters, sometimes being made up of thousands of triangles, maybe even more for a full boss, they say. More details are, of course, provided for any of you who are looking for pixel dimensions for textures and player characters, with a layout even of how skins will be mapped onto characters, which you can actually copy and use for your own custom looks and blocks right now. They talk a bit about how they allow limited stretching of pixels to help with some fine adjustments sometimes when it comes to animations, and they mention some good brushes to use to paint your textures, as well as some texturing techniques, specifically using a cake as an example. Overall, it's a very detailed blog post to anyone interested in asset creation and for anyone expecting to play with mods. We got images, of course, of some new furniture and doors along with this blog post. We see the Tree Singers, which are an older stage of Quebecs, which were quite new to us, and we weren't sure whether they'd be back in the game. This hopefully could...
Yeah, if I get Hytale, I'm gonna try and do what Grox does to Quebec. I would do that 100 times. And work with the Schwartz, of course. Well, not being chased by a million of them, but more like do what Grox did. Like, I'll show you the clip. Let me get Grox real quick. Let me get. Let me get him real quick. Hopefully, I don't get karma. Hopefully, karma doesn't get me.
Do it again. I will do it again.
Here's what I would do.
Are there any more mass murderers working for me? Grox MC, huh?
Crocs?
Show me video of him committing these crimes.
Yeah.
You bet. Imagine looking nice. Well, I didn't even ask for a statue, but
He also enslaved villagers as well. Bring him to me now, please.
Yeah, that's what I would exactly do. That's what I would exactly do. I'll make the build base free, make make civilizations, and I'll be the king. Well, of course, try not.
Firms that they are. Honestly, all this is really good news. Plus, there's two actual tutorials linked at the bottom of this post from the art director of Hytale himself, Thomas Frick, which combined reach over an hour long as he explains how to create, concept, and model a lava golem mob. So again, I definitely recommend checking them out in your own time. Then, over the last month, there's also been a bit of commotion regarding zone names. Zones are the areas that the game world is broken down into.
But
Think
28
biomes,
minutes
but a little
left.
bit more complex. Originally, we were presented with Zone 1, 2, 3, and 4. We were also teased at Zone 5 and 6, but realistically, the first 4 were the ones we were expecting for release. Since the 2018 trailer, they actually adopted names such as the Emerald Grove, Howling Sands, Borea, and Devastated Lands from official concept art, blog posts, and developer interviews. You'll have even heard me mention and refer to them by those names many times over the years. But according to Simon, these were never truly defined. And also, with how big the game got, the names don't now truly describe their regions accurately anymore, which presented an opportunity for them to change, or well, be officially defined. Quote, zones are being reviewed this week for several reasons. The team successfully got Infinite Worlds working properly with World Gen V1 just a few days ago. We need to complete a tuning/configuration pass, and we should be ready to launch with it. I tested today and spent a few hours just flying around and having fun finding happy little accidents. This changes a lot. Every playthrough is going to be vastly different, so we want to make sure gameplay-wise it's still balanced and that we don't have issues where some zones near spawn are too small. Right now, the tech can verify that Zone 1 is large enough to spawn the player, but we want to make sure that Zone 2, 3, and 4 are okay as well. Maybe it's fine if sometimes they are small, as the world is infinite, so you could still travel to see other bigger versions of zones anyway. So I guess just to be clear going forward, this is how it's laid out now. We have a group of biomes, for example, like grasslands, forests, flower fields. They would all be part of like a grove region, along with the Riverlands region and maybe a mountain region. These 3 regions, though, would then all make up the overall Earth zone. Hopefully that made sense, and all of those examples were made up by me. I'm just trying to...
But I do wonder, and I wonder if we can dig straight down in Hytale. Imagine we could dig straight down and then we just entered a dungeon and then we just died. That would be hilarious.
give a sense of what the hierarchy is. So in
Or
regards
lava,
to
of
new
course.
names, Zone 1
Lava.
is called the Emerald Wilds, no longer the Emerald Grove, with 3 regions. It's going to have 3 regions, all made up of multiple biomes. Zone 2 remains the Howling Sands, with another 3 regions that we can explore. Zone 3 is now called the Whisperfrost Frontiers, and is also 3 regions. This name is the one that seemingly got the most flashback from the community. Honestly, it's starting to grow on me a little bit after a couple of weeks of just sort of mentioning it between friends, but who knows, maybe they can still revise this. Then we've got Zone 4, also remaining the Devastated Lands, with only 2 regions for now, but maybe that will expand as updates continue. Simon says, quote, regions are...
And also, there's a lot of questions like, how will the updates go? What updates will work? How they'll work? What to expand? Obviously, there's a lot to expand, but what do we expand first? Yeah.
We can treat them as tiers of difficulty in a way, even though right now the difficulty is somewhat not that steep between the tiers. Here's some screenshots of what actually happens in-game when you discover a new region. Notice how the zone is displayed at the top and the region is in gold text. We actually saw another one of these a few days later, which surprisingly hints at maybe another zone or some sort of other area, the edge of the echo. These Orbis echoes, these echoes from Orbis, whatever they are, I'm excited to explore it and figure it all out. One user did comment on the lighting that we've been seeing in the recent gameplay. Quote, do you think that some part of the new engine can be in some way backported to the old engine in the long term, despite the different language? I'm mainly thinking about the lighting system, which looked good in the old and really good in the few screenshots we got from the new engine. Simon followed up then with this image stating that it is now fixed in time for early access. They didn't require a new engine to fix this lighting, just about 64 lines of code for a temporary fix that is good enough for now. And he also says that whilst it looks impressive, the team do acknowledge there's a lot of work and rewriting to be done to make it efficient in the...
Oh, come on. I like to think, but
There's a lot of work and rewriting to be done to make it efficient in the long term. The team also posted an image with the caption, "One of our level designers created this cozy yet fortified build, showcasing quite an impressive looking base with all sorts of little details to unpack." This is honestly going to be great for builders who want to get an early start at planning. The most visually striking part here, of course, is the roofing. There's slants at different angles, helping to create these really cool curves. There's lots of post and fence type blocks that can be used for spires and chimneys. It does get me wondering as well how precarious it will be to build structures this high, whether we'll just have some kind of scaffolding mechanic. That also leads me to think about how player physics works on these slopes. For example, would we just slide right off, or would we be able to mantle or cling on to these edges? Another nice touch here are these humongous chains. They feel very larger than life and wouldn't go amiss in a huge castle-like structure. We've seen diagonal rope in Hytale before. In fact, you can actually see it in this camp here and used in pirate ships in a few images we got years ago, but it's nice to see that now chains function in the same way. A major aspect, of course, if you hadn't noticed already, in this is also the half-dirt slabs. We know that there's going to be sideways slabs and quite a few variations of slabs in the
he's
game.
gonna do
Just
what
seeing it in
Minecraft ain't gonna do.
terms of in the actual environment and around a build, it looks so cool.
Yeah,
Makes
I
me
feel like if they would have times, Hytale, please make it like Sega did. Like we do what mine don't.
that's probably turns easier to walk up as well, rather than jumping up every block.
Yeah,
So
that
here
would
we
be
also see
epic,
some
Mark.
trucks and wooden bars for horses. I'm sure they have a proper name. There's wheelbarrows, there's workbenches, a campfire, and even a chopping wood block with a number of split logs on the floor. All around, grade A image. Love it. The next one we get, however, is a bit different. It's a beautifully composed Christmas setting with a large Christmas tree adorned with decorations and a large ice star. We get a little cameo from Rudolph on the roof here, and we also see a little Christmas market area below a clock tower. Here there's Quebecs all around, a variant of which we haven't seen in a while with a little Christmas hat. Another one in the back here working on a market stall and trading with a player, plus a truck in the back here with absolutely no customers, as is quite right, they don't deserve to be in the game. We also see the return of this cute Quebec plushie. I honestly need to get one of these in real life. We actually see a couple of them here, along with a snowman in the corner. Plus a bunch more Christmas themed decorations like presents, there's some stockings, hanging colored lights, and even wood bordered colored wall blocks, which was really hard to say, and adds a really festive touch to the builds. One more interesting note about this image too is the statue, which I believe we've never actually seen before. Normally we see statues of Gaia, but I think this one is of an Orbis officer of some kind. These are the human warriors that we think once existed in the world. The statues that we have seen always seem to give off this ominous blue glow, so I wonder if they hold any mechanics like secret blessings or an ability to teleport to them. The Hytale logo itself is blue, and the patterns on the lettering actually kind of like lends itself well to Gaia's theme. I'm curious if there will be some sort of connection there one day. Overall, a massively packed news day. I haven't even had time to mention that you should subscribe to help me hit 100k, hopefully before Hytale, but if not, soon after its launch. Use code Quebec if you're finally convinced to buy the game when it does come out. It helps support me directly as a
Yeah, I'm gonna use
blogger.
all your codes.
Sales, and so that is going to be refueled directly.
Yeah, I'm gonna use all your codes. But now I'm gonna use all your codes. But now 20 minutes left. 20 minutes left. Just 20. 19. Yeah, what? We're going to test Twitter, of course, see if it works or not. Now, yeah, we're going to hop on Twitter at 9:55, but we're doing a test run to see what is there. Yeah, let's see if Vance is not. Hopefully, Vance is not watching us because I'm not going to tell you what happened, but you can find it, but I'm not going to tell you because Vance is going to try to track my account, but not really, but it'll be fun. Yeah, imagine he just bans my account. It'll be hilarious. And now it's going to take me. Yeah, that is how Hytale works. Let's see if we can successfully go up. Going up, going up. Come on, let's go up. Going up. Just wait. We can do is just climb up. Climb up. And there's 8 days. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm happy I'm getting a new phone. I'm just no. And we're gonna say for sure. Of interest. No. And ain't that all I see is King repost? Yeah, now we got 14 minutes left, so What can we do? Yeah, you're just gonna watch him live.
Okay. Say you have a low credit score and you want a credit card that helps you reach
Nobody cares.
Released in about 13 minutes. So in the meantime, what I was doing was developing a cool idea I had for a way for them to fix what I call the cluttered hotbar issue. If those of you that have come from Minecraft, I don't think Terraria has this issue. I know there's like a wide variety of people that are like getting into Hytale. I'm from the Minecraft side of things, okay? And a problem that Minecraft has is hotbar clutter. Usually you have a bow, a sword, a pickaxe, an axe, a shovel, food. You're gonna have your glider. Like basically, you're gonna take up your whole hotbar with all of this stuff, right? Especially in a game like this that has multiple tools. So what I'm trying to help visualize for Simon to share with him is a cool way for them to do it. And my way for them to do it involves a system they already have in the game. They have this radio menu for the offhand. I am now changing that, and I am moving it over to the main hand, and I've added another little icon right here. They could do it maybe in a slightly different way. It's fine. It's not about the exact implementation. It's about the general idea that I'm trying to give them, which is if you give us a main hand radio, then we can put in here our axe, our bow, our sword. I'm going to put a pickaxe and a shovel in here really quick too. What is wrong with a cluttered hotbar? Oh, dude, there's so many things wrong with a cluttered hotbar. A cluttered hotbar is the worst. Hey, thanks so much for the dono. W's in the chat for Hytale. Wait, which? Hytale Cinemator. I don't like. There's such a big problem with a cluttered hotbar. If you've played Minecraft, you should know this. And more games typically that have like different tools
Yes,
that
and
just go in your hotbar.
as a
You should like.
yeah, I got this on the stream recently, especially the leaves. Yes, you can burn them, but why the leaves? Did they add leaves? There was no reason to add leaves. People say copper is useless, but leaves, although they are useful for fuel, there is too much of them. There is too much leaves. Yeah, the leaves are overrated. Yeah, because the leads are not going to help the inventory.
It takes so long.
Yeah, he is.
No, I don't think it's gonna work. You got to disconnect.
Yeah, we just got 3 minutes and then
Yeah, well,
we're heading to Twitter.
maybe try with. So this is the inventory problem inside of Minecraft, right? This is how I usually sort my hotbar. I usually have bow, sword, pickaxe, axe, shovel, right? And then usually I have like torches, or sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. But let's say this is your normal hotbar, okay? In Minecraft, right? And then you want to build, so you have a bunch of blocks. Or this could be anything, right? It doesn't have to be building with blocks, it could be something else, but we're choosing blocks as an example right now. So if I'm building something, every time I want to do something, I gotta build it a little bit. Okay, this now. Alright, let's switch over to this. Alright, then we go back to here again, because that's fun. Like, you see the problem, right? You have to go in and out of your hotbar a lot to do stuff. And it's just, the more you have to do this, the worse the game is. Every time you have to do this just to juggle things around is not good. And obviously, like, this gets pounded even more when you have, like, all these things, right? I got stairs, I got slabs, I have all this different stuff. Okay, now I want to use some of this and some of this. Like, you see what you have to do? Animator things, dude. Like, you see how annoying this is to have to do over and over again. So there's an easy way to solve this problem. There's an easy way to solve this problem. I think. And that's what we're working on right here. So, solve the problem. Hytale already has part of the solution built into the game. They have the ratings. It already exists. But they applied it to the off-game, which is good because it's one example.
Yeah, now we're going ahead on Twitter and check. But firstly, yes, I have the Hytale countdown. Just more than a week left. We can finally come home. Let's wait until 4:15 and then. But let's see what music I can put on while we wait. Now let's head to Twitter. Let me find the greatest music track of all time and then play it. The Awakening by Patrick Petrikos. Don't I didn't mean to butcher the name, but let's go. Another one. Another. But to make this even more better, let's go to right where Hytale is. Right here. Oh wait, come on. Come on. Wait. Let's go. Just one more minute left. Under a minute. Come on. One more minute. One more minute. Just one more minute. Then all we need is to make this into 7-8. To 7-8. 7-8. 7 will be 8. Didn't mean to say the context of like that, but yes. And come on. Can't be frozen in this app. Well, again, I hate that. Frozen. Son. Yeah, I will regret this, but come on. We can do this. We can do it. I mean, Jared Lowe. Yes. Yes. In today's exciting blog post. Dan and Amber dive deep into the future of Hytale world generation. Discover the incredible new features, capabilities, and potential for both our players and our creators. Also, this music is Mattia-to, if you're wondering, or Infinito. And if you want to find someone else, then you are fine to do that. Because I am not a stable champ. Do not use me. It just give me a black screen. Because they did it. Yeah, because I don't want to stream. So that was a. Well, it's not bad, but when I streamed it, it just. It's like with Rich. Oh, sorry about that. It was terrible. Yeah, not how it lagged. But anyways, let's head to Blogpost. The future of Hytale's generation. Hello, I'm Dan, the World Generation Engineers here. Hi, today I will be joined by Amber, one of the designers. We'll be taking you through the World Generator today through the lenses of engineering and design. In this post, we will discuss where we are right now and where we're going currently. We have gotten two world generators in Hytale. V1, developed in 2016 and 2020, served as a prototype to understand our generation needs. It produces playable results in exploration mode. But we eventually end up hitting barriers when we try to create more zones and more complex biomes. V2 was been in development since 2021 to address barriers we previously faced and enable us to achieve our global design goal. V2 was will completely replace V1 once we've gotten ready and will be the generator we support going forward. Hytale generation will launch with exploration mode on V1 because it already has many biomes and content ready to go. We're now in the process of creating orbits on V2. Once completed, V2 will become the primary world generator, and you will enter the new world of orbs. V1 will eventually stop generating chunks, but your old V1 worlds will still be accessible. In the meantime, players will be able to see and experience V2 content that is under construction by visiting fragments of orbits through gateways in exploration mode. Then once we are ready, we'll begin testing in a pre-release build for the world of Orbis. Yeah, but this looks like he looks like a cool guy, a chill man. Is that the Farmlands by a mountain? Great forest. I love his music. Is it the best music? Not much, but it was. It feels like it was made. If you put it in 10 years earlier, it'll probably be the best game. People might love it, but since we got other people today, yeah, that is kind of pretty crazy. Even though they're yeah, this looks like an amplified world though. If it's gonna be like that, since we got yeah, it looks like an amplified world. Flowers showing an erosion effect at the transition between the river and the forest. Hytale's world was always intended to be created and professional. This means designers have significant control over what appears in the world and how, even though it's procedural. The shape many of the decisions we made in World Gen V2 include giving designers even greater control than before over how content appears in the world. This will include ways for us to balance resource distribution, breadcrumbing, and significant posting. Meaning content and much more. A great example of this in V2 is the pattern scanning system. The idea is that we can configure a pattern that determines what props are placed in the world. Typically, we would search for the floor an empty block with a sub block below. We can also add additional checks to the pattern search to gather more context for the environment. These patterns are fully defined by the creator, which makes this powerful and open vast possibilities. A tree with a dark leaves and large root only spawns above caves. This allows us to mark where caves are for players. Here we can see that ash trees spawn above caves in the deep root. Bound because they are configured samples for empty blocks beneath the ground when placed. This is a fun detail, but it allows designers to create something we call heuristics. This refers to deeper patterns that enhance immersion and give gameplay advantages. To this example, players can learn that deep root caves, which contain special resources, are found under the dark ash trees on the map of plain regions. So, you can determine. I will just read it and we'll do it later. But there are many, many examples of these patterns across our genre, allowing designers to communicate with the players in numerous ways. A log bridge spawns across the river by searching for two shores. A log bridge spawns across the river by searching two shores. A yellow mushroom and some sticks spawn on the ground across the base of some cedar trees. Glowing mushrooms that only appeared in the sheltered areas. A meadow of flowers spawned in a dip surrounded by small trees and boulders. Code mods. With V2's API, WorldGen programmers can implement mods that automatically work with the node editor and plug into other vanilla and mod features. V2's architecture enables the development of strong capabilities by implementing simple, interconnected components. Players and creators can seamlessly integrate features from different mods and new scheme. Modded will be able to tweak, extend, and add functionality to customize existing world gens such as orbits or create new ones. Our APIs also are automatically multi-threaded and provide full read access to the surrounding world context, simply launching and freeing up mod developers to focus on capabilities. For this blog post, we are focusing on our goals and overall direction. We'll go into more detail to technical details after launch. Creating content. Anyone can create content and modify WorldGen without knowing how. Code. As V2 can be edited directly in our node. Wait, let me see if it's on YouTube, the videos. Nope, not yet, but maybe. But anyone can create content and modify it. Check. Without no. Alright. We'll see creators discover new techniques and tricks for creating content that we didn't think of, further expanding what can be done with WorldGen. With our visual node editor, creators can rebuild, advance, procedural content by confining and linking simple nodes. When editing WorldGen, the world live reloads in game to reflect changes to made within the creator. This is all to make creating advanced bombs easier and faster, bridging the gap between developers and creators. A creator has created a basic bomb and will rise its editing terrain. Let's look at this. Yeah, I'll full screen it for. I don't think we can just zoom in, but we'll. Yeah, that. Yeah, imagine someone makes a like far lands biome, of course, but it's just a giant wall with holes, of course. I like that. I like, but I think it's just to explain how it works. If you all want to see it deeper, I don't know, but this is that. But 1 week left. 1 week left. We just got 1 week left. Yeah, but now so yeah, they just cover with grass. If it's that easy, if it's easy. I'm just a creator has created a basic bound in inner worlds and is editing the trade. Creators can control each boundary and shape independently and with high prediction in between bounds. The terrain shape transitions from one to the other, blends features seamlessly. Bombs can also customize their terrain as it approaches the edges. A custom. Let's watch this bomb. Yeah, there's now holes. Add a naturally rocky surface to a cliff, creating a fully control with materials. The terrains is made by assembling material provider nodes. Material providers function as a logic nodes and configurable roles in terrain context, such as block depth, below ground, or to the amount of empty space above ground. Now let's watch this. Grass material is restricted to not spawn where there is less than 10 blocks above the air. With prompts, creators can generate localization content such as the points of interest, POIs, vegetation, and decorations for precise control over the placement, rules, and distribution in the world. Prompts are distributed on a custom procedural point grid, and at each point, a customizable set of rules determines the best placement. The content generated by prompts can be sourced from prefabs or for procedurally dependent on the creator's approach. And then there's just going to be a force, right? This is increase the size patch by edit. Yep. Forces. Force. Increasing the size of force patches by editing the tree location mask. We designed the assets that created the world to allow creators to add and edit terrain. Prompts, biomes, and zones are easily as we can do. Each biome is treated as a separate tile, like a jigsaw, within a stone puzzle, and each zone is treated as its own tile in the patchwork that makes up the world. This means add new biomes or content such as prefabs to be straightforward, as we've given you all the tools we could use to create what you want. Additionally, every single biome that we could use in Orbis will be shared with the community. You'll be able to use the node editor to view, modify, and have fun with the content we made and mix with your own creation. Discord right here. The phone is a set of experimental future packs. Examples. These do not reflect the content that will exist in the adventure. A close up to a shot example terrain that explores a more chaotic stack terrain. Looks like the fall ends. Yeah, Hytale created the Farlands. Yep, there was a giant whale right here. A wide shot of an examined terrain pack that explores a more chaotic idea. That terrain. Yeah, we see a scuba diver right here, ship. A complex of underwater cave features, bracket core, and shipwreck. An example terrain pack that explores an Ark's terrain's theme. Yeah, that is. Yeah, their terrain looks flat. An example of terrain that explores a floating island theme. Yeah, floating islands. Wonder where I heard that. This looks like the end. It procedurally generates set of rings of in that alien world. Yeah, it looks like Vader's planet. Going forward, keep in mind that we are in early access. Many systems are still under active development, and the asset structure will be changed frequently as we completely core features over the coming months. We've depicted features being replaced where possible rather than removing them. Suddenly become it's important to us to support careers in the same way we support our design. As part of the our push to support careers at every step, we'll publish every part, first part tutorials, guides, and documents to train the community alongside us. These will cover everything from the greater world generation concepts and specific techniques to use by designers to in-depth systems, document best practices for performance optimization. Over the short term, we'll be focusing on performance improvements, upgrading existing features, and make the act structure more modular and flexible. In the long run, we're planning on a ton of cool features, such as procedural rivers and paths, guiding players and connecting places, procedural architecture for generating dungeons, ruins, and buildings, organization, organically grown fauna to increase diversity in currents, waterfalls, and more. Community feedback and suggestions will directly shape the future of Hydra's World Gem. And last but not least, our designers will be working on to release a content complete Orbis in the World Gem. This means we'll be hard at work creating new preamps, biomes, regions, and zones with a new car smell for everyone to explore, enjoy, until then. We'll catch you in the next World Gem. In the meantime, enjoy some snapshots of our work in progress files. Aim at fun future adventures release. Alright. This this is pretty good. We got zone 3, I'm suggesting. This first one is obviously zone 1. Zone 3. Yeah, planes from Folks Bomb in the Emerald Wilds. Tiger Focus River Biomes from the Whispering Frontier. Yeah, that is zone 3. If you want to know, that's zone 3. It's a wide shot of range biomes in a Whisper Frontier. A trunk is generated pristine using terrain in a position field. A large stand are procedural generated using terrain and position fields in the Whispering Frost Frontier. Let's see. Let's look close. Let's look close. Large stand stones are procedurally generated using terrain and the position fields to a Whispering Frontier. A lush oasis lies hidden in the howling sands. Yellow trees spawn only around rivers in the howling sands. And we see a camel. We see whoever he is, probably the main character. There's the savannas. There's an oasis. Yeah, look, it kind of looks zone one like, but not really. An important note for Simon. As mentioned public a few days ago, this is approach to a world championship will be defined the block game genre. For the first time, artists and game designers can take full ownership of the world generation. With complete control over the final result, this is a fundamental shift away from a world shaped almost solely by programs. With this in mind, I'm pleased to announce that we are planning to expand the Hytale team with a new genre that, for the most part, has not existed in the block-based games before. World designers following the early access release, we plan to expand our team by hiring more than 15 world designers. These roles are filled primarily from the community, as artists and game designers learn and build using the same tools we use internationally and choose to apply. Hytale's vision is feel carefully handcrafted while remaining infinitely procedural, with design always serving gameplay first. With design always serving gameplay. Alright, let me just walk real quick. Yeah, give me some that right here. That means Swedish for water. I learned from Duolingo, but the Lego God turned to AI, of course. Start clicking. Yeah, like that. Right here. But now, we are initially expansive. We just envisioned years ago. Beyond orbits, we plan to explore alternate worlds, new dimensions, and entirely different spaces. These worlds give us room to introduce new blocks, isles, prefab zones, regions, biomes, NPCs, quests, stories, and gameplay systems. Not every concept will ship, but together they represent the direction we be taking as we continue to expand the game. The echoes of Orbis and Orbis are just the beginning of an amazing game journey. And this is the image right here. Yeah, you remember this? Feel nostalgic? Well, do Hytale have nostalgia? Well, since the game has not been released yet, but still, though, y'all probably feel nostalgic for it, but anyway, that's it. Well, and to try not turn this into oh my PC, we're just going to just end the stream. And I hope you guys have a great day. Be safe.